Uh, I would appreciate that if you uh, turn off your mics and cameras. Okay, in the last class we have Shivaja. In the last class we have Walaikum Assalam, okay ji. We have discussed some uh, how to what to think and how to think while implementing the strategies. And obviously, so far we have discussed the methods, the analysis, formulation, and we have seen so many strategies. But when the time comes to implement those strategies, definitely you have to make some thoughts while implementing those strategies, because uh, sometime all most of the time when you are equipped with the selected strategies or best set of strategies, but before implementation or while implementation you have to study the market, the environment. And without that studying the environment, you cannot implement the strategy. Obviously the strategy formulation stage and the all the stages um, we have seen in the last previous slides. It takes it takes time. Okay, the formulation strategies and the matching the strategies and making the matrices. It also it all of these actions and activities takes time. So whenever you come to the stage while implementing the strategy, then obviously you have to see the real ground facts, that either those facts are requiring that strategy to be implemented, or you have to wait for some time. Because some of the time your manager can say that sir, we had a strategy or we had a plan to launch the new product in the market, but the time when you are going to implement or this strategy, the market dynamics does not allow you to go with the new product immediately. The timing, the dynamics, the environment of the market, obviously this all these things has to be aligned with the whatever the probable strategy you have opted to implement. So we are seeing this in this chapter, and so far we have seen some criterias while adopting the strategy. What criteria should we meet? And now we are at this stage of financial and accounting issues, because I said that while implementing strategies, there are a lot of issues, there are a lot of things that has to be seen, that has to be focused, that has to be analyzed implementing the strategy stage. So finance and accounting issues are very much important issues whenever you are going to opt some option for strategy. Either you are going for mergers, you are going for develop a new market, you are developing the new product, you are going to integrate in forward linkages, you are going to integrate with backward linkages, you are making cartels, you have planned to make some agreements with the market stakeholder. But all these kind of strategies, all these kind of steps, they require the keen look into the finance and accounting issues, because sometimes the strategy is very much good, but your finance and accounts section or your finance and accounting position that doesn't allow you to go for that strategy immediately. So that's why we are very keen to have to look into detail with those environmental issues or organizational issues. So in those organizational issues, the finance and accounting issues are very much important. There are several financing and accounting concepts that are central to strategy implementation. Some of the concepts essential for this strategy implementation are acquiring need capital, developing project financial statements, preparing financial budgets, evaluating the worth of business. So basically these four questions, not only these four questions, but related question and sub question can be made in the list. There are so much issues while thinking about the financing side. These are the major important areas in the finance issues you can look up while implementing any kind of strategy or any kind of policy. Definitely, you need some investment, you need some money, not some money, but a big, huge pool of money to implement the strategy. I'm repeating some kind of strategies, like you are going for integration, you are going for mergers, or you are going for acquisition, you are going for the agreements, or you are going for the sale, you are opting some technology. Whatever you are doing, you need money to forgo, to adopt, or to go for that kind of decision. So you need to look into the sources of that fund, where that fund should be or can be collected, and how that fund would be retreated, and how that fund would be given back to the investors and shareholders. So all these things has to be taken into consideration. And the developing projected financial statements, obviously, while any kind of activity in the organization or project, the financial statements are very much important, and this is a very special kind of a task for the finance people, and they know, the specialist knows that what kind of information and what kind of input is involved in making that financial statements. If your financial statements is allowing you to follow some kind of a specific strategy, then you go for it. Otherwise, if your financial statement is not in favor of you, so you don't opt that strategy immediately. Similarly, you are preparing financial budgets for them. Budgets obviously is a what we can say that that is a financial face of any kind of organization activity. Budget is involving obviously the two major sides. On one side, you are evaluating your revenue side, revenue sources, that how the money would be coming into the organization or into the project, how the project would earn, or how the organization would earn, what are those sources of earning. And on the other side, you are listing the expenditures. And obviously, the ideal state of budget is that the budget should be balanced budget. All the revenues must be equal to the all expenditures, public budget I'm talking about. But if you are dealing with the private budget, every firm, every organization wants to get more revenues and less expenses. So obviously, to see that viability is into the budget, you need to evaluate the all entries into the budget, that does our budget is allowing you to go for or to follow up any kind of a policy or any kind of strategy. If the budget allows you, you go for it, and if your budget doesn't allow you, then you obviously you don't go for it. Similarly, the evaluating the worth of business, any kind of a business you are doing, you are going for introducing a product, or you're going to develop a new market, you're going to change your product, or you want to you want to get the merger with any other firm, you want to acquire some other firm. All these things obviously needs to look into detail, that either the policy or the strategy you're following, does that strategy or policy would be giving some kind of a result to you? That is a question, obviously. So if any kind of policy or strategy you are looking for to implement in your organization, if that thing doesn't work in sense of earning, so obviously you don't go for that thing. So any kind of strategy, any kind of a step in the business side or in the project side, the return and the output, obviously that is being measured accordingly. The output must be achievable, the targets must be achievable, and the activity must be worth of business worth. Obviously, it is simple, as simple just like an ABC. You want to earn money. If any kind of activity, if doesn't earn money for you, obviously that kind of a policy or strategy, whether it is being proposed by any kind of expert, but it is not supported, and it is not viable for any organization to opt if that particular kind of activity is not giving you the money in return. And there are more some kind of finance and accounting issues, like you need to see your Equity, common stocks, you need to see that how equity mean that sorry equity mean that if you have gathered some money from your shareholders, so how much money you have taken from the shareholder and how much you have to pay back them in form of profits and returns. Similarly, if you are taking some kind of a borrowing money from creditors, so you are going to borrow that money on the basis of bond. So what the position of the firm regarding the bonds, regarding the debt management? So obviously you have to see that if that management or indebtedness of the firm allows you or makes a viable picture for you to go for any kind of strategy. Similarly, if the debt obviously is taken by the two sources, either you take debt through bond, through issuing the bonds. Bond mean that you make some kind of agreement with the lender, and you make some promises on that bond, and the condition and the all the agreed points of bond that cannot be changed within the process. But if you are taking that money from any kind of a lender, so that is make something different. Whatever kind of lender is, either you're taking through money lenders or you're taking through bonds. So in either case, you need to look into your viabilities. And earning per shares or and earning before income and interest and taxes analysis. These are also the most widely used method for determining whether the debt, stocks, and combination of debt and stock is the best alternative for the raising capital to implement strategies. Obviously, you need money. So you need to decide from which kind of source you can get the money. And obviously, you will choose that kind of source to get money where you are very safe in relevance to your paybacks. And this method involves an examination of the impact of the debt versus stock financing has on earning per share under various assumptions to the earning before interest and taxes. So obviously these are very technical terms, and these terms can be explained by the finance experts. Obviously I cannot explain here. That need a very different and huge time to explain. But whenever you are going to opt or adopt some kind of a policy or strategy, you need to see all these kind of evaluation. Then financial statement analysis. I've also said that if it allows an organization to examine the expected results of the various action and approaches. Whatever action you are going to take, so it should be analyzed, it should be examined keenly, that the result should be in your favor. If the expected results are not going into your favor, so obviously that financial statement analysis gives you clear picture, and in that case obviously you go for some other alternatives. And if finance and accounting issues, there are more issues like you need to prepare income statement before balance sheet. You use percentage for sales methods to project cost of goods sold and expenses like of thing, and calculate projected net income. So you do all these kind of activities while going to opt that strategy. If all these kind of analysis come to the conclusion that the coming strategy or coming policy is very worthful and beneficial in all aspects, then you go for that strategy. Otherwise, in any case, in any area, in any kind of corner, if you find some problems, obviously you will solve that problem first, then you go for that strategy implementation. Then the project financial statement continued here. So you go for some kind of a finance and technical handlings where you subtract dividends to be paid from the net income and add remaining the retained earning. You see that the money you have taken from the shareholders, and after getting profits, if we or after getting returns, if you distribute that profit into the stakeholders, so what amount of money has been left for the organization, so the organization would move further on. So these kind of things has to be seen. And similarly, the project balance sheet items beginning with retained, and that is technical things of the financial side. So obviously nothing here to explain for me here. And then you list some comments on project statement. You take comments from the experts, you take comments from the auditors, you take comments from the financial experts that either that particular step or strategy you are going to opt, either that strategy is worthful or not. And this is some sort of example for the project income statement. I would not explain this thing here because it is somewhat out of scope from our topic. This is again okay. Financial budget, I've said that the fourth thing is the detail how fund would be obtained and spent for the specific period of the time. As I told you that the budget has two sides. On the one side, you are making list of the expenses, and on the other side, you are making the list of the revenues. And simply private budget in the private projects and in the private sector projects, we love that budget which have more expenses and less, more revenues and the less expenses than cost. Otherwise, if your expenses are more and your revenues are less, then obviously that step or that activity is not going to work for you. These are the types of budget, and again, I would not explain each of one by one because this is not the scope of our today's discussion. So anybody in your friend, in your circle that is that belongs to the finance side, you can ask any question regarding these. What kind of obviously I can give you all the definition of all these kind of budget, but I said that this is not the scope of this subject yet. So if you are definitely obviously you are in the mood to opt some kind of policy or strategy, so you need to know the definition and the importance of all these kind of budget in your processes. Then sorry, the last thing was the evaluating the worth of business. Either you are going to get integrative policies, you are going for the forward integration, backward integration, horizontal integration. You go for the intensive policies where you sell out some your division of your organization, or diversification strategies where you develop your product or develop the market or diversify your product. Unrelated diversification is there, related diversification is there. Whatever you're doing, you are expanding your business. So for that expansion, then obviously you need to see the worth, and you need to see the returns of the business. And obviously every business is having a worth which is profitable and which is beneficial. If you're not getting profits, if you're not getting revenues, if you're not getting any kind of benefits, so obviously that business would not work. And most of the time the money is the base parameter. If you're earning profits and if you're earning more money, then you go for that business. But sometime money comes in the second stage, and sometimes you go for your market repute, you go for your goodwill, you go for your good word of mouth in the market. So for that also you go for to earn in sort of a what we can intangible kind of benefits. Otherwise, most of the businesses and the most of the steps have been taken to earn purely financial return, that is money. So when you go for any kind of a business, new business, so you see that what a firm owns, that if you are going to develop your project, if you are going to develop your product, you're going to develop new market, you're going to get the venture with any kind of a firm, or you want to some kind of acquisition or mergers. So you need to see that what a firm owns and what firm earns. You earn money, a lot of money from that kind of stuff, and you owe all the assets and belongings of that business. So obviously you would go for that business. Otherwise, if you find something problem in earning, in ownership, or in bringing in the market, so you would definitely not go for that business. And second last thing is the research and development. Obviously you are working in the market, and without studying the market, you cannot sorry, you cannot take decisions, you cannot take effective decisions. So that effective strategy implementation needs the level of support constrained by the resource availability, technological improvement, shortened product life cycle. You need to see all these issues. So if you are keen to look the resource availability, so how can you find that in your region, in your Peshawar, or in your KPK, or in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, or any kind of a corner of the world where you're working in? So what kind of resources are there? You can find out the resources. So these information needs research. So in the market, what kind of resources do you have? What kind of availabilities do you have? What kind of provisions do you have in the market? So that can be evaluated or estimated by the research and development process. So obviously there are researchers, there are some market manipulators, there are market enumerators who do the research for you and for the organization. There are some experts that hired particularly for the purpose doing the research and development for the company. Definitely, if you are going into the new market for the new product or for new what we can say that any kind of a business venture, so you need to study the market first. And technological improvement, shorten product life. Obviously, if some product has been started today, so after some time, after 2 months, after 3 months, after 6 months, that product would go out of the market because new technology is taking place day by day. So that research and development process obviously updates you about this kind of development. And if you do not go for this information through research and development, obviously then you cannot take any good decision. So you need to know about your product stage, either what kind of stage do you have your product, either it is initiation stage, or you're having the maturity stage, or you are having growing stage, or your product is declining. So that's why that kind of information would be collected through research and development activities. So there are 3 major research and development approaches implementing strategies. First of all, do the first firm to market new technological product. Obviously, if you want to develop a new product for the market, so you need to know that are you the first firm to take this product into the market? So this needs research and development. Or be an innovative imitator of the successful product, or you're copying some product. So for that analysis, you need to know about that product for which you are going to imitate, for which you're going to copy that kind of product or process. So that need also the efforts of the research and development sector. Be the low cost producer. Obviously, how can you come with the low cost production? So these things and these activities also needs a very grasp hold on the research and development, because research and development officials and experts that would tell you that how a production cost can be reduced, because if production cost is reduced, then obviously your earning and your profits are going to increase. And the last thing is the market information system, management information system. Definitely, you are working with the computers, you are working with the machines, and definitely this is a very important factor in differentiating successful from the unsuccessful firm. Today, this is the fact that most of the successful cases, they have gone up due to that technological advancements, and most of the failure cases are there today's world that do not follow the acquired or required technology of the contemporary time. So function of MIS, what are the function of MIS? It's very important that in MIS collect information, retrieve information, and store information. You see that every big organization who have some automated system and management information system, they might be having supercomputers, or they might be having what we can say that in terminology, one is a super computer, one is यार मेरे जहन से निकल गई वो जो एक लफ्ज हम बात करते हैं, server. I see. So there is a good storage in this main server where you gather all the information in that server, so that needs a good storage. But again, day-to-day advancement in technology is making this thing very dynamics. So you need to know about all these dynamics and day-to-day changes accordingly into the market, and that would be done through research and development kind of process. Then keeping managers informed. So this is another important job of the MIS. And coordination of activities among divisions, allow firm to reduce cost. So if you're all employees and managers are not taken into loop, or they have not taken into information circle, so obviously any kind of a policy would not work. If you're going to implement any kind of strategy, but your lower staff, your employees, your managers are not aware of that kind of strategy and policy, so obviously the desired results are not going to come up. So if you want that the desired results would come up of any strategy, so that strategy, that policy duly transmitted, explained and transformed and communicated to each individual employee and manager. This is the last slide. So today we have ended with this chapter number 8. So if you do have any kind of a question in these slides, so I would answer it. Otherwise, our lecture is done with our chapter number 8, part number 2. Okay. And if you do not have any questions, so I would take your attendance here. So that is your first screenshot. Let me take that screenshot to Word format, and then I would be. जी please आवाज बिल्कुल आप बात कर सकते हैं.
Sir, I have one request. You may know that here in Afghanistan, the revolution occurred. Our all brothers' minds are not set. They have problems. There is no.
Allah Taala د ټول مسلمانانو دغه محفوظ ساتي، هغه مسائل حل کی، هغه مشکلات حل کی. دنیا کې چې کوم دلته مسلمان دي کنه دا زموږ ورور دی جی. دا زموږ ورور دی، دا زموږ زړه حصہ ده چې د افغانستان کې وي، د عرب کې وي، د انګلند کې وي، د امریکا کې وي، د فلسطین کې وي. الله تعالی ټول مسلمانانو ته خپل دغه حفاظت کې ساتي سي.
دا ځینې ملګري دلته نیټورک مسله می سر جی.
خیر دی خیر دی خپل نمونه ماته دغه کرا کې individual کې I'll be taking care of it. ٹھیک شو. So I'm taking attendance again. So this is your first and last name is sorry Num Narazi Us Barazi ka. Okay ji. Okay ji, this is your first snap. Last one is Juma Khan Dadeji Juma Khan. تاسو جی زمون خو زړه چې کوم دې کنه او هغه چې کوم زمونږ افغاني چې کوم برادرز یې هغې سره لګیا دی جی. الله پاک دا ټول زمونږ وروڼه دي، دا ټول زمونږ خپل د قام خلق دي. الله تعالی د دې حفاظت ساتي، الله تعالی دې هر مشکلات نه بچ کی. آمین آمین. Thank you very much. So nice of you. Sir, I am not in the list. Sir, allow, I am not in the list. Thanks. So I think I have taken all the list. I am just taking again, admitting all. I would take another snapshot. So Najullah, Koshan, Dam Daga, Zama list kira. Now I have taken all your shots. Thank you very much. So nice of you. So nice of you. Bahut shukriya, Mehrbani. Assalamu alaikum. Any kind of question do you have? I can answer it.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I am Tausif, class CR, sir. The Simon Barak, sir.
Simon Barak.
Simon Barak student bar request pay sir chida PDF ki file ke tol use send ko sanga sulu sir.
Na orega. Zabya explain kom ji. Zabya explain kom. Assignment che kamu kana da orega chata de da de ji. Come ji. Khaji, da do slides di. These are the 2 slides. 3 slides obviously. In these 3 slides, there are 7 different examples where the strategy, where the firm or where the organization get failed. And any one student is required to pick any one case of it, any one case. Either it is Iridium case, or it is Green Free Financial case, or Kodak case, or eBay case. You have to just pick one and then detail it, that why that organization have failed. What was the reason? Either the finance reason was there, the technical reasons were there, the HR reasons was there, the strategy. What was the basic reasons behind that failure? But only this is the assignment, and that assignment would be mostly of 1-page assignment, I think it is. So there is no such a big deal. Okay, so you would mail this assignment to me in any form, in Word form or in PDF form. It's up to you. Do not WhatsApp me, mail me. Okay, so that is a basic thing of assignment. G. कोई बात नहीं. I have recorded all these things. When you will be listening this recording, so you will be getting understand. You will be getting understood. Okay. I have recorded all these things.
Okay, sir. Midterm assignment BD sir, or final term assignment home the kana sir. Da yo PDF file जोड़ गुता स्त email पे sir.
Da tool assignment बस यो PDF file जोड़ का या Word file जोड़ का. Da tool assignment बस यो जे के और माता पर यो file भरा ली गए. कोई इशू का ना. Assignment पर बिल file ना बन नहीं. Assignment पर यो file लिखा. शुरू ना तरवाला.
Okay sir. Thank you sir.
कल जमत मा स्पग assignment वर्क करी दी. अतोवर करी दी कलस वर्क करी दी. दा टोल यो फाइल पर जोड़े और माता भरा के. कोई इशू ले.
Total 6 assignment is sir.
बस दा टोल पर यो फाइल की जोड़ का और माता बस यो फाइल भरा ली गए.
Okay sir. Thank you sir.
Thank you very much बच्चे. Thank you very much. जी मुराद शिराज साहब सवाल दे सर. मुराद शिराज साहब. Take me as in attendance. बच्चे बस दोस्त बार खुना शमा गस्ते करने लाला. ओरेगा. तो उसको ना टोल रागली दी. टोल इस्ते दिरा सर हाँ. ओके ना नहीं गोरा भाई assignments मता सो तो वर्क करी दी पर different times के आगा डेटा मा सर निश्चित दे पोई चले. But I know that where I have given the assignment, I cannot do it. You need to see all the videos from the start to end. You will find where I have given the assignment and then collect all those assignments in one document and send to me. Okay. For that, you are having 1 or 2 weeks only. دام لغا سكرين شات واغشتو ها. ठीक शो. ओके जी मेहरबानी. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.